Okay, everyone. This morning we are going to work on recreating not the layout, but the measurements of a website. So, our end goal for the semester is going to be able to recreate a website. Not every single aspect of the website, but the general feel of a website. So the first thing you want to do is pick a website. The example I have over here, we have USA Today. Now, USA Today is relatively complicated, and I only did like a small portion of their main site. So I probably wouldn't pick USA Today. First thing you want to do is pick a website that's going to be a little bit challenging, but not so complicated that you'll never be able to accomplish it. So I browsed around. So the first thing I thought about was maybe doing like Reddit or something, or CNET.com. This one's not too bad, right? So I can go ahead and collapse this thing. Now, one thing you have to think about is websites nowadays, they have like a lot of collapsible elements, like like ads and all that kind of stuff. So those kind of things you may or may not need to take into account. So first thing I thought about was like maybe doing like Reddit. Reddit's not too bad. If it goes. Oh, there we go. All right. So we've got like a little navigation bar up top. That's relatively easy to measure. We've got create post thing. We've got some different Reddit threads over here. Not threads. You know what I mean? Different Reddits, subreddits. Now, thing about Reddit threads is they're gonna. The width and the height of these things are going to vary depending on whatever it is. Like here, this video is going to be a certain size, where something else, this ad is going to be a certain size. But they're going to vary, right? But the width will always be the same. You see, the width of all of these are consistent, right? The width of this column over here is the same, and the width of all these things over here is the same. The width of the subreddits listing, the ad. Again, all the same. This stuff over here can be relatively consistent, but as far as like this stuff over here can change. So there's something to take into consideration when you're thinking about the website that you're going to pick. Let's see what's inside this guy's gift. I wonder. Let's pause that. We'll figure that out at the end. Anyways, so I looked at that. That's a possibility. Not too bad. So if you wanted to do Reddit, I would certainly think of that as an acceptable challenge. So this Spotify one is one I thought about. The nice thing about Spotify website, again, you do whichever one you want to do, right? It's relatively simple. It's got like this navigation bar up top. It's got this big hero image. It's got a few columns over here, and then we've got our social buttons. Well, that's not too bad at all. So that's another thing we might think about. Nice thing about this one is simple, not too bad. Now, there's different ways to measure it. If you're on your own computer, or if you're on a computer where you can install extensions, there is something called Page Ruler. So if you can do it, go ahead and add it. Right? See, mine says your admin has blocked Page Ruler. Now, if I'm on, I don't know, maybe my personal one, maybe then I can do it. Nope, still won't do it. Nice try. All right. Maybe that one. Maybe my Archimedes one. Nope, still doesn't work. All right, so if you're on a DOE computer, or it might not work for you. So there is another thing that you can do in order to get around that, and there's an online tool that you can use. I linked to it in the actual assignment. Repetables.com/web/tools pixelruler.html. The only downside to this is what you have to do is you have to take a screenshot of whatever website is that you want to recreate or measure, I should say, and then take it from there. Okay. So if I wanted to do the Spotify one, all right, I would do the screenshot, which is what with a Windows S. No, is it? I forget what is it for. Let's see the screenshot. Oh, it's print screen, duh. Print screen. There we go. Print screen. So I go print screen, and I go back over to all right down here. Let's paste it. Oh, I got both screens. I only want this screen over here. Now some stuff, like I said, you're going to kind of figure out. Let me zoom. Let me see. Like for example, over here, like this over here, the height of this is going to be about 82 pixels. So you could say like 80 pixels maybe. I don't care if you give me exact measurements. So that'll be the height of this. Now the width of it is going to be the entire width of your screen, right? So the width is going to be.
At this time, it is 9:20, and all high school students will be going by. So if you have a first period, which is period 2, high school assignment, you should be in the room waiting to receive students. Thank you.
You can use these buttons over here to. So if the whole thing doesn't fit, then you can go ahead and adjust the size of it so you can see more of it, right? So again, this goes width by height. So the width over here, right, from here to here. So about 1800 pixels by, or 1900 pixels by like 80 high, all right? Now again, the width for a lot of these things, it's not gonna matter too much. So what you might want to do for certain things is going to be like, instead of saying the width of 1800, say width of screen or something like that. Right? That's fine. So like I said, here in my USA Today one, I have like width of screen. So the height is however many pixels. Again, if you want to let a couple pixels, if you're a couple pixels off, that's fine. I'm not going to be worried too much about that kind of stuff. So I made a Google drawing, and right now it's just blank. There's nothing in it. Now, if you're picking a website that's more, rectangular, the Spotify one is relatively squarish, so the default size is fine. But if you need to change the size of it, you can always go to File, Page Setup, and you can change it to like a widescreen, and then. Well, the widescreen one might work out, or if you go to File, Page Setup, so you've got like a pretty long website that you have to apply. You can always go to Custom, and then you could do something like this, right? Like like 8.5. This goes by inches. You can measure it by pixels too, right? So you want it, I don't know, like 1800 wide by, I don't know, 3000 or something. So this will give you as many, probably enough area to recreate basically anything you might need. Now, obviously for the Spotify one, we're not going to need 3000 pixel size. So something like this is probably good enough for the Spotify one. Again, I put it in 1800 just because that's just the width of my screen. Again, now we have to think about just because the width of this screen that I'm on is 1800 pixels. The script that doesn't mean that the layout's going to look exactly the same on everything. All right, so if I go look at the Spotify website on my phone, the pixels are going to be different. So we're just have to think about. So when I say the width of the screen, you have to think about the different screen sizes that we might be on. So some stuff we're not going to worry too much about the exact width and height. Well, the height will basically usually be the same, but you know, the width, like I said, there's some leeway as far as, you know, how detailed you get in the width. Well, get the idea. Well, it'll be more clear once I give you a better example of what it is that we're doing. All right. So in the USA Today one, and again, I'm not sure how accurate this layout is based off of when I did it before. All right. So we've got, let's just go back and forth here. So here's USA Today. We've got this bar up top, then we've got like a little nav bar, we have an ad, and then we've got you know, some articles over here, a little the main article over here, some headlines. So when I did this this image, the USA Today website is different than what it was back then, or what it is now, I should say. So this stuff is not going to be anywhere close to being accurate as to what it is now. But when I actually did this a few years ago, this is an approximation of the size of the different elements that were on the USA Today website. But let's see. I'm going to do the same thing I did with this one, on the with the Spotify one. So I've got my blank Google Drawing, and you don't have to use Google Drawing. You could do it on something else if you want to. You could do it on paper if you want to. It doesn't matter to me. And let's take a look at this stuff over here. So we got this the website, and over here we've got the measuring thing. So I need the height of this thing over here. It's going to be like this. All right, so this thing over here, for example, you could think of it as this navigation bar up top is going to be how many pixels high. Oops. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So we could say this bar up top is going to be 82 pixels wide. So I'm going to make a rectangle over here. It's the very top. Put in some text. Nav bar, I'll call it. Width. Oops. Screen height is, I will say, 82 pixels. Let me make this font size a little smaller. Okay, it's fine. Oops, I don't need this one anymore. Close that one. So let's go back to our drawing over here. Let's do this in a separate window. Okay. Now you got this Spotify thing over here, right? So we got, this is our Spotify logo. This is 134 by 41. If you want to put this, make this 135 by 40, that's fine. Just to get some nice even or rounded out numbers. Oops. Make this smaller. Alright, so now let's put in another square over here. And let's fill it with a different color. Put in some text. And that's what we said was 135 by 40, right? So then we have to think about there's space over here, right? There's a little space on top, and we have to figure out how much space is between over here. So we can do this with arrows and stuff like that, right? I don't like that one. Let's do like a line. We do like an arrowed line. Here we go. And this would be putting some more text over here. And fixes that. Let's change the size of this to like 8 or 6 even. What's the space on this over here, right? It's going to be, we'll say 380 pixels. Let's make this red. Alright, so the width over here is 380 pixels. Again, you can always move this stuff around so it makes sense for you as far as like where stuff is located and all that kind of stuff goes. You can put this over here maybe. And then we have to figure out how much space is on top over here. So that's 80 pixels on the top, and sorry, width and height, 20 pixels on the top. $20 on the bottom. Alright, so that's not too bad. So here we have 20 pixels, 20 pixels, 20 px. Now the hard part really is getting all this stuff to fit in. Let's make this a different size, like 8. And then red again. Too small. Oops. I don't do that either. Alright. Do the same thing for the top. Let's make this red, just make it easier to see. Make the font smaller. So there we go. All right. So now we know how much width, how much space is between here and the Spotify logo, how much space is on top, how much space the Spotify logo takes up. So the whole bar up top is going to be, let's make this, so this makes sense. All right. Yeah, so we've got 20, 20, and 40 is 80. That's why I changed the height to 40. Now, this is not taking into account, margins and all that kind of thing. But basically what we're doing when we're saying over here is we've got a Spotify logo with basically no border on it and no padding. So just, or you could say just padding, no margins. Either way, doesn't matter. You could have a Spotify logo. The padding, remember, is just the space around the actual content. That's good. Then we have to figure out how much space is between we've got about, I can say 550 pixels or something like that. Let's put another line over here. Some more text. It's fine. And then over here, we got our navigation. Oops, that's not what I do. Like this over here, right? It's not quite right. We've got our navigation stuff over here. So this is 400 and let's say 450 pixels by, I don't know, 20 pixels. Sounds right. So here we'll put in another square, a rectangle. Fill in do our text. And saying navigation 450 by 20. Let's make this small. Size 8 font. Oops. There we go. So we know that this is height is 20. So we know that the padding or the margin, whatever you want to call it, is going to be on the top, and the bottom is going to be let's see, 80 minus 20. Is 60, so that means it's going to be 30 on top and bottom over here, right? So we know all right, let's do 30px because it's centered. We can definitely tell that. Oops. Another one. Ah. Again, I'm not going to judge you based off the prettiness of this. You're going to get the idea, right? And this, of course, is going to go to the rest of the width of the screen, right? Then close Reddit. I don't need that one. Alright. I'll have to figure out what the thing is later. Alright. What's inside that gift, I wonder? Alright, so next thing we have to figure out is how big this big old hero image is. Alright, so it's going to be the width and the width of the screen. The main thing I'm worried about is the height of it. So the height is going to be 859 pixels. Alright, it's good. Look over here. Make a big old box. It's going to be the whole width of the screen. Another rectangle here. Let's fill this in. Oops, I don't want to cancel. I don't want to print it. Cancel. Change the size of the fill. Alright, let's make it, I don't know, this light green color. As long as you can separate it out, I don't care if the colors that you put in represent the actual colors of the whatever the stuff is. Alright, so let's do some text. Hero image. Spotify. Hero image. A hero image is like a big the big image that takes up the most of your screen real estate. So think of it that way. So the width is the screen, of course, and the height is, we said, was 859 pixels. 859. One thing you can think of, let's see, what is my screen resolution? You're using 1920 by 1080. So the width over here, if I'm doing all my numbers correctly, should end up equal to 1920. So let's take a look. What do I have over here? Let's do a little bit of basic math over here. Let's open up my calculator. All right, so let's see. What's what I got so far? I got 380 plus 135. Again, these might not be 100%. Oops. Plus 550 plus 450. So that's 1515. And then around the edge over here, right? So I gotta take 1920. Let's just do minus, 1920. So over here, I should have like around 405 pixels over here. If I was going, this is on a 1920 by 1080 resolution screen. Again, the height of your website can be whatever, but the width is going to be whatever, because we can scroll up and down. So that obviously the height can be infinite if we need it to be. Here it says 3600 by 1080 because of those screens. $59, no width. This screen. For me, it's 1920. Let me just move this down here. And we know that this, let's add an arrow. What should we do there? Don't do that either. Let's add in my arrow. So we know this width over here is going to be, what did we say it was on our calculator? Did I close my calculator? No! I gotta do that all over again. So I've got, oops, let's do it this way. I've got 1920, I know that's my width, minus 380, minus 135, minus 450. Did I forget something? Oh, 550. Minus 550. So 405. Alright. So these are a little bit off. Like I said, these should probably be like the space over here and the space over here will probably be a little bit different, right? Let's take a look at it. It looks, it looks pretty much centered, right? So the measurements might not be 100%, but I'm looking for good enough. I'm not looking for exact. All right, so what was our calculation again? It was like, did I close the calculator again? Do that one more time. Let's try and don't close the calculator. So 1920, that's my width of my screen resolution, minus 380, minus 135, that's the logo, minus 550, that's about the width of the space between the Spotify logo and my navigation stuff over here, minus 450, 405. All right, so 405. Remember that. All right, so this will be 405. Over here. I'm gonna make this smaller. Make it red. Oops, the whole thing red. Okay, not too bad. What time is it? 9:48? Alright. So I would probably mess around with these measurements. For right now, I'm just going to leave it. Let's go back to my picture here, my online ruler. Alright, so this is as far as I can get on this one over here. So I need to put in a new screenshot because I gotta get that bottom stuff, right? Let's go back to the Spotify website. So this is the part I need down here. I already got this part over here. Let's do another screenshot. Let's do like a, yeah, that's fine. Let's go back over here to the online ruler. Let's paste it. All right, here we go. This is the part I need down here. This part over here. This part over here is from my other screen. You know, I don't need that part. I just need this part down over here. All right, again, so we know the width is going to be the 1920, right? We need to figure out how much space is from here So this is about 512 pixels. The space over here and this other side over here is going to be probably about the same, right? Oops. Got 400, so about 500 on this side. Doesn't look like he's exactly centered. See, the width of this, what did I say? This is 365 on this one over here, right? The width. Width on this one. Oh, did I do the wrong thing? Let's see. The width is about, we'll say like 380 on this side. And the width of this one is going to be 380. So 380 on each side. All right, so let's think about that first. Let's put in our big rectangle for our area down at the bottom. For our text. There's our footer. This can be 19. Down at the bottom, right? Width is going to be screen. In that case, 1920. And the height is going to be what? Um, 534 pixels. We'll run up to 535, all right? Let me put this over here. Oops. Let's make the font size smaller though. Let's move it down here. I'm going to say the width of this is going to be 380 pixels as well, right? That makes more sense. So that's 380 instead of 405. We have to add in, let's put in, let's make this 575, right? And that should make it fit better, right? If I add, let's add in these numbers. Let's put in my calculator again. So I'm doing 380 plus 380. Let's clear this. 380 plus, was it 135 plus we said 575. Oops. And I have the plus sign. Whoops. That's clear. All right. 380 plus 135 plus 575 plus 450 plus 380. Oops. 1920. All right, that's what I wanted it to be. 1920. All right, that makes sense. Oops, I'm gonna fix this over here. This should just be 575. And there might be small adjustments we need to make as far as the pixel size. This might not be 100% accurate, but as long as we get the general idea. Like, a lot of this stuff is going to change anyways based off of the size of the screen that we're on. So the width of certain stuff, as long as when we redo the recreation, we're just going to worry about one size. We're not going to worry about every single screen that's out there in the world. All right, so the nice thing about this is, if you notice that this should be the same here because these line up, right? The Spotify logo over here and the Spotify logo over here, these things line up. So if the width over here is 380, down here should be 380 as well. Same for this and this. You see these things line up over here. So you can just copy this, right? Paste it. And go down here. You know, it's going to be the same over here too, right? Now this over here is going to be different over here. We've got the Spotify logo. We can just copy that. Okay, this is going to be the exact same Spotify logo, right? There's the text, but trim it in the box. Oops. Oops. I'm going to redo. Put that back where it belongs. All right, I want this box. Now let's redo the box. That's fine. These things should kind of line up. And then let's put in a fill on that one. That's white color. All right. This goes here. All right, so this is the same over here. We know that this stuff over here, but then we get to do a little bit different stuff over here. Here we've got we've got 3 different columns. We've got this column, and this column. Then we've got a little bit of space here, and then we've got some images over here. Then down here we've got this other stuff over here. But you get the idea of what it is that we have to worry about. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop here as far as how much stuff goes. I didn't do the 100% greatest job ever, but like I said, this is not due for like 2 weeks. So I want to give you guys plenty of time to work on all this stuff. You see, I got pretty far in just a half hour or whatever it is it's taking me to do this kind of stuff. So the idea is to get the basics down first, and then you can add more detail the further on we go into it. Okay. So this is the goal. Hopefully, to get some kind of accurate representation of how much space everything takes up. I hope this helps you a little bit, and then I'll give you more detail on the stuff later on as we go on. Okay? I will see you guys soon.